So people should ask, are you replacing everything? Is there anything from the old system you plan on reusing maybe? Would that be helpful?
Yeah, I would think really important question. I think it's important to ask.
You see why I can't do this?
No, I hear
Bye.
you.
Bye. In refrigeration news, this article was talking about how improper furnace installations can end up costing homeowners in the long run, mostly about how when you choose the cheapest option, sometimes
Mhm.
people don't really think through why it would be the cheapest or how that's possible. And so, what I thought would be an interesting thing to discuss are ways that you have seen that companies are able to cut corners on installations that a homeowner might not necessarily even be aware of.
Yeah, a lot of times what we see, when the contractors are just kind of the low price leaders of the
Hmm.
industry, is they're reusing a lot of the material left over from the original installation. We see that quite a bit, from wiring to electrical boxes to even the pad that the air conditioner sits on outside. It's crazy how many times we see that get left. No
Why would it
gra
be important to replace that?
Well, they degrade over time,
Uh,
so, they're out in the elements, they're out in the rain and the sun, and not only that, they a lot of times are not the right size. So it's
mhm.
pretty evident when you go outside and you look at this brand new, nice, shiny, clean air conditioner, and one, it's not level because they didn't put any gravel. They didn't level the pad. They left the old pad, and it's pretty obvious that it's old. It's just a bad look, and it's just little things like that that it might not affect necessarily, the age of the pad may not necessarily affect the system's performance right away, but you have
Mhm.
to think about what the deeper meaning behind that. Like, why would a contractor just not replace it?
Yeah.
Like,
What
you really
else
have
did they not replace?
exactly, like, you have to
Yeah.
think about, like, why in the world would a contractor skip something so small and simple?
Hmm.
You can't help but think in the back of your mind, like, okay, what else? Like, what else did they not do?
Well, what are some of the things that you can cut corners on that that a homeowner might not be aware of that could be a safety problem?
Yeah, two things big time. One is some of the wiring left over on the air conditioner. So between the house, the electrical box on the side of the home, and the air conditioner is some wiring, and a lot of times we see that
Mm.
kept, from the original installation, and some of those electrical connections in there are still old and 20 years old, 15 years old. So that's never good.
Hmm.
Biggest thing inside is the flue pipe. So the flue pipe is like the furnace's chimney. It's trying to get rid of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide and vent it up through the home's construction and out of the house. So we're trying to get rid of carbon monoxide and the metal tunnel, if you will, to get rid of that carbon monoxide is 15 plus years old. It happens a lot. People will replace a furnace and leave that old metal flue pipe. That can start rusting out over time. We'll see 15, 20-year-old furnaces, and that flue pipe, that metal pipe is so rusted that you can almost put your finger right through it. It's so weak.
Wow.
And that's the last thing we want when we're trying to get rid of carbon monoxide.
Would it be good advice for homeowners to ask, are you replacing everything, or is there anything from the old system that you plan on reusing? Would that be helpful?
That's a great question to ask. The other question is, of those materials, what kind of quality of those materials are you using? Because when
Hmm.
it comes to like flue pipe replacement and stuff like that, there's actually a difference. You can use lesser expensive materials or nicer quality materials of the actual flue pipe itself. But I think it's important to ask that question, and when that contractor responds, like, how do they respond? Not
Hmm.
just, oh yeah, we replace all that. No, that's not quite what I want to hear. Like, I want to
Yeah.
hear details. Like, I don't want to
Yeah.
deal with
I
somebody
kind
that
of want to hear like, I'm glad you asked because yes,
yeah,
and and here's why.
exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So it's a
Okay,
great
cool.
question to ask.
Very good. Well, I think that that's helpful advice that people might not necessarily think or even realize is happening with a lot
Hmm.
of furnace and air conditioner installations. Is that why somebody might be a lower price? Is that they might be not replacing everything,
Oh yeah,
really.
happens all the time.
So,
Yep.
which will save material costs, and that would make sense. So,
Yep.
All right.
For sure.
Cool. Thanks for the info, Matt.
All right. Thank you.
See you
Have
later.
a good day. Bye.
Bye.